Coyote and the Sky. Story by Emmett, Garcia. Illustrations by Victoria Pringle. A long time ago, the animal people decided to make a journey up into our world, the fourth world. Back then, where we lived in the underworld was called Shkeme, or the third world. The animal people went to the leader of the third world and asked him for advice. What should we do when we get to the fourth world? And he gave them great advice about how they should all stay together and watch out for one another. But there was one animal that leader didn't allow to join the other animals on their journey, Coyote. This was because he was always making mischief or trying to trick someone out of food. When everyone was ready, they started to make their long journey. The animal people began to climb and climb up into the fourth world. When they arrived, it was very dark. They could not see anything and kept bumping into one another. They were scared. What should we do? They asked each other. The animal people huddled in a close circle. They decided to send Squirrel and Rabbit back down to the third world to ask Leader for more advice. "There's no light in the fourth world. What should we do?" cried Rabbit. Leader took some time to think about their problem. Then he began to build a big fire, and while it was burning, he began to make a yucca mat. When he was done, the coals from the fire were nice and hot and glowing. Leader used a stick to put all the coals onto the yucca mat and tied it into a bundle. He told Squirrel and Rabbit to run quickly with the bundle into the fourth world. When they reached the other animal people, they opened the yucca mat. The animal people grabbed each corner of the mat and flung it into the heavens. The glowing coals came together into a big circle in the eastern sky and became our sun. At last, there was light! How beautiful it was! But then the sun began to move across the sky to the west and soon disappeared, and it was dark again. Now what should we do? The animal people once again huddled into a small circle. Again, they decided to send Squirrel and Rabbit, because they were the fastest, down to the third world to ask Leader what to do. This time, he made an even bigger fire with bigger coals. While it was burning, he made another yucca mat. When the mat was done and the coals from the fire were red and hot, Leader took the coals and put them onto the mat. Leader tied the mat into an even larger bundle. It was very heavy, and Rabbit lifted the bundle with all her might and ran up to the fourth world with Squirrel leading the way. When they had reached the animal people, they untied the bundle. They took each corner of the mat and with a great effort flung it into the heavens, and this became our moon. But still, it wasn't bright enough, and something was missing. So Squirrel and Rabbit were sent down again to the third world to ask Leader what to do next. This time he made an even bigger fire and an even bigger mat. All this time, little did they know, Coyote was hiding, watching, and listening. What's he gonna do? When all was ready, Leader wrapped the red-hot coals in the mat and told Rabbit to run as quickly as she could back up to the fourth world with Squirrel leading the way. Rabbit could feel the heat from the coals, and even to this day you can see that Rabbit's eyes are pink from the heat. But Rabbit was very brave. She held the yucca mat out in front of her, and all she could see was Squirrel's tail leading the way. They did not know Coyote had come out of hiding and was following them up into the fourth world. When they reached the other animal people, Coyote was very angry that he had not been invited to come to the fourth world. Coyote sulked behind a big rock so that no one could see him. When the animal people opened this big bundle, they asked Badger to draw pictures of each animal on the yucca mat with the red-hot coals. Badger began to do so with a stick. All this time, Coyote was getting angrier and angrier. Suddenly, he jumped out of his hiding place and grabbed one corner of the mat and flung it into the heavens. These coals became our stars, and if you look closely at the stars today, you can still see the outlines of the animal people that Badger drew on the yucca mat. These are our constellations. In some places, the stars are in clusters, like in the Milky Way. This is where Coyote messed up Badger's drawings. Finally, Squirrel ran back to the third world to tell Leader what Coyote had done. Leader decided to go up to the fourth world. Ooh, I think Coyote is in trouble. When he got to the animal people, he told Coyote that he had been bad and must leave the fourth world. Leader put Coyote in a yucca mat and threw him up among the stars in the southeast corner of the sky. He sent Squirrel into the northwest corner of the sky to watch out for the future of all animal people. Today, this constellation is known as the Big Dipper. Do you see it? Yeah, right there in the middle. Good job. This is how the sun, moon, and stars came to be. Wow. The end.